Welcome back to Baseball History 9 Cards. This is opening day for 2026 from Minnesota Twins. A lot of people think it's going to be a tragic season. I got hope though, but nonetheless, I'm going to tell you about a player today that he had a tragic ending to his life. He actually died at the Niagara Falls. Oh, and at an early age as well. Terrible. So you probably never heard of Ed Delahanty, but so back in the late 1800s, he was one of the best players in the league. You know, back when it was Cap Anson, King Kelly. Well, one of those stars was Ed Delahanty. He was a five-tool player. He batted 346 over his career, three times over 400. He's one of the very few to hit four homers in a game. I believe he was the second guy to do it. And that was in a time where not every homer was going over the fence. You know, I believe he had a couple of inside the parkers amongst those four. And he was on the 1899 Philadelphia Phillies, whose hitting terrorized pitching across the league. However, it was revealed that they had cheated using a buzzer system. And that particular year, he hit 410 that year. He might not be a Babe Ruth or an Albert Pujols, and he may have cheated like so many other legends who still got into the Hall of Fame, but he's still a great player who made a mistake, and he still deserves to have his story told. He was actually one of five brothers that played the majors. Delahanty said, "We were given bats instead of rattles." He was a troubled man, gambling all his wages at the track, betting on horses. He was a mean drunk as well, at times swinging his knife around with rage. Later in his career, the team got desperate to help him, so they called his mother. She came and tried helping him out for a few days, cleaning up after him, hand feeding him even. She also tried to drag him to church to talk to a priest. A few days later, he boarded a train in Detroit on his way to New York City. Unfortunately, again he started drinking way too much, annoying everyone in the dining car. Then he lit up a cigar, which was prohibited in that particular car. That caused the conductor, John Cole, to have a chat with him. Later on in the night, Delahanty stumbled and crashed into the glass case that was protecting a fire axe. Glass went flying everywhere. Cole had to deal with him all night. Eventually, it was Ed's turn to get off the train, or at least he thought it was. They weren't to New York City yet. He went into the sleeping car looking for his bags, but he didn't remember where he put any of them. At one point, he grabbed a sleeping woman by the leg and tried pulling her out. She started screaming bloody murder. That was the final straw. The conductor and three other men grabbed him and threw him off the train near the International Railway Bridge near Buffalo, New York. It was about 11 o'clock at night by then, and Sam Kingston was the night watchman for the bridge. He was out making his rounds, doing a visual inspection. Kingston noticed Delahanty in the dark, breathing heavily. He had just tried chasing the train that kicked him off, like he's going to catch it. Kingston flashed his lantern and asked him what the man was doing on the bridge. Delahanty said, "Take that lantern away or I'll knock your damn brains out." Kingston thought for sure this was a suicide attempt, so he tried grabbing Delahanty. In the skirmish, Kingston dropped his lantern. Lights went out. He then got his foot stuck between two railway ties. Delahanty took off running down the bridge and somehow fell overboard. He was drunk. Did he jump? Did he stumble over the edge? Some even think he was pushed. Either way, there was a splash in the Niagara River that dreadful night. About a week later, his body was found floating in the swirling waters at the base of the Niagara Falls, near where the Maid of the Mist is docked. His body was mangled from constantly hitting the rocks, as well as being hit by the propeller from the famous boat. His stomach was torn apart, entrails hanging out. His left leg was barely hanging on. He was so bloated, so decomposed that his skin was turning black. Some of the questions afterwards were, why was he on that train? His wife was told to meet him at the train station in Washington. And the night watchman, his story changed several times. First, he said there was only insults exchanged. Then, said Delahanty had attacked him with a stone or a club, finally settling with wrestling him. Kingston was a 6-year-old man, and supposedly Delahanty had $2,000 worth of jewelry. Was he robbed? It was never found. Delahanty's wife ended up winning a wrongful death suit against the railroad. In the end, he made a lot of poor choices in his last year alive. He died at the age of 35. Yeah, it's too bad though when people make those wrong decisions. And even earlier in his career, when he's on that team that cheated, there's so many guys that are in the hall that cheated. Using spitballs and steroids and all kinds of stuff. But that's the way it goes, I guess. Maybe I'll do a video just on those guys. All right, until next time. Thanks for listening.